Yeah, that goes up rather than down.
Hello, hello. Are we all on? Yes, we are all on. Let me just take it out of studio mode. So I've got a funny shirt on again. I must really stop wearing stripes. Let me get off my
Yeah.
cushion. Because then
Oh,
I,
that's made a lot of difference.
well, now I'm in the box though, because I wasn't in the box
You're in the
online.
box, 5x5.
I'm in the pipe 555.
Yeah.
Yes, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Shadowrun, a role-playing game set in our campaign in a city called Metro. In the time of 2076, when magic is still available and combat mages walk the land with spirits at their sides, or shamans worship various creature comfort spirits, where you can buy a cyber arm so you could be a wonderful hitter. Guns are aplenty, blades are aplenty. You can rig drones and vehicles from the comfort of your own home. And of course, the Matrix is alive and well and is a very nice place for deckers, whether or not there be the materialistic deckers or the weird and wonderful technomancers. They all are available in the world of Shadowrun in this cyberpunk setting. And we join the party, the runners as they are called, in a really interesting predicament that we finished last week, last adventure, on a bit of a cliffhanger, and we're going to be picking it up straight away after two things. Number one, I'll let the players introduce who they are, and then I'll give you a quick rundown of the final scene that happened, and then we'll get straight into the action. So first up, Chugawugga, who are you and who are you playing?
Good evening, I am Chugwugger and I play a character called Stanley Lovely. Stanley used to be an investigative journalist who used to specialise in looking into paranormal activities that nobody could explain. He was fired from that post, and because he needed the money to pay for his elderly mother's medical expenses, who he actually lives with, he turned to the realm of running the shadows to make ends meet. He fulfills the role of the combat mage, and recently he also took on the role of the face. He's middle-aged. He's got receding hair, slightly portly, and his street name is Studley.
Studley.
And I am going to pass on to Medivac.
Hello, everybody. I'm Medivac, and I play a dwarf called Locksmith, or Lachlan Smith. He's the Decker. He used to work for Qubit 64 until he had to leave under some strange circumstances. Then he did a bit of walking around money, so he joined this group here to help them in their endeavours as best as he could. He goes by the name Locksmith on the Matrix, and at this point in time, he's in a bit of a pickle. And with that, I shall pass it on to Big Beastie.
Hello, I am Big Beastie, and my voice cracked. I'm playing a character called Billy Bob. He's a big, lovable orc, an ex-British soldier, so he brings to the table being the tank of the group, who is pretty kitted out with stuff and things and hand blades, and he loves his day sack, or his backpack, as you would call it. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Mr. EPG.
Thank you very much, Big Beastie. Hi guys, my name is Longshanks EPG. Tonight I'm playing the group's rigger called Tornado. He is an ex-drone pilot for the RAF, or Royal Air Force. He was kicked out for being a little bit too mischievous with how he was flying his plane. So he'd do lots of sort of flybys and break windows and that sort of thing by flying these super experimental drones as fast as he can. But he kind of misses that because nowadays he's just flying around or rigging into sort of like the run-of-the-mill average Joe sort of drones and that sort of thing. So he kind of misses his cutting-edge stuff. But he's currently rigging with this fancy group of runners on this mission at the moment, and he's not doing too well. He's sort of like hanging on his last legs at the moment in the middle of what Inwos is about to describe.
Cool. Locke, has your token got 4 arms? It certainly looks like it's got 4 arms to me. 4-armed Locke. Okay, so let me give you a quick brief example of what happened at the end of the last adventure. Okay, so the party have been hired to ensure that 2 twins, Erin and Aaron, have a fun time at a gaming convention. That's what they've been hired to do. And things have been going up and down throughout the 4 days. And it's got to the point of the final day when there's a LARP event, a live action role-playing event. And the idea is that all the party, the runners and Erin and Aaron were dressed up as like shadow runners. And they were in a group. They were one team, and there was numerous other teams sort of like playing. There was actually 12 teams in total, including some supernatural werewolf packs. And of course, everybody was dressed up, and it wasn't a real adventure at all. And the party set off quite well and had to locate somebody and get a skull off them, and they headed off in the general direction. And while they got there, they had to go behind a booth and talk to an elf. And Erin was talking to an elf, which is one of the twins that the runners have been hired to make sure that everything is fine. Locke was by her side, and Billy Bob was close by. Tornado and Studley were also close by. Studley saw what appeared to be a beast spirit coming into play, growling. At that point, Locke saw a gun being lifted up to be levelled at Erin. He took the action to say to everybody, there's a gun here, get help, basically. The elf then continued to lift its arm. Locke grabbed hold of it, being a little dwarf, and tried to pull it away with his unarmed combat skill, which I think is at... I don't think you have one. But anyway, you tried to grapple the gun away, failed, and the dart was shot off into Erin. Erin got darted and sort of like fell to the ground. At that point, we went into initiative, and Tornado was next up, and Billy Bob was next up, who did his tanky thing and launched into combat, threw a punch at the elf, who almost like saw it coming, stepped back out the way and pushed his hand to one side. The elf then continued and fired his pistol. His seemed to be sort of like a needle gun, for want of a better description, into Billy Bob, and he actually managed to penetrate his armor, and he felt some chemical being injected into his orcish blood, and suddenly nearly didn't completely pass out, but quite nearly did. At that point, Tornado burst into action and shouted for everybody to take cover. Studley then saw the beast spirit heading towards him and turned around and disrupted the beast spirit, attempting to destroy it outright. Not banish it, just destroy it outright. He'd successfully destroyed the beast spirit. However, in doing so, the backlash of it actually knocked him unconscious, and Tornado dragged him into a booth. Now,
Japanese anime.
Thank you. Now, just to so you are completely aware of what's happening.
Awful fun.
then
Ooh,
I've put this up for you so you can see roughly what's happening. So I'm just going to I just sort of like put it together quickly so you can see what's going on. So the this guy here is the elf Billy Bob, and he's the one that you're fighting here. Okay, so that's the first thing. The thing that you know as the Banshee from Clean My House is Erin. Is Erin, yeah. And Erin, of course, at the present moment in time, is unconscious on the floor. This guy here, and I'll tell you exactly what happened at the end. This guy here, that's Aaron. And then Studley, you're this one here, as always. You're unconscious, and Tornado's with you in a booth. Okay? Now, at the end of the last adventure, just when everything was firing off, Aaron let out, once he saw his sister fall to the ground, let out a tremendous roar, and Locke saw it on the Matrix as he let out, Aaron let out what appeared to be a huge sort of like static blast that sort of like was shot around the hall. And at that point, I don't know if you remember, but at that point, a fly spy fell from the ceiling where they'd obviously been tracking you guys, and fell down and landed on the floor and just smashed into bits. And that is where we left it. We left it last time because we weren't too clear about the disruption rules and time was putting on. However, we've looked at the rules and we've agreed with Studley just to carry on as played. Yeah, Studley, is that we're happy with that?
I think as played was how it should have been. I think that's what the rules are, isn't it?
It was, and I think it was. The reason we gave you the option is that we didn't know what you weren't completely aware of what the disruption rules were. But I think next time you'll probably go for banishing.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably start. I mean, the reason I didn't go for banishing was because Studley hasn't had all that much training with spirits apart from summoning them himself. So
Cool.
Banishing is something that is
He's not very good at the moment.
not very good. But after encountering a banshee spirit thing in one of the adventures, and now this, whatever this one was, I think it's probably.
Something that he might...
Something that he might be investing in the future.
Cool. So that brought us to the end of the the round. Everybody had finished their initiative passes. So we are starting off now, going straight in to the first sort of like battle. So we are heading off to roll initiatives, please.
Before we do, could I have access to my token, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yes, because I dragged them on from the. I don't think anybody will have access. Billy Bob, do you have access? Yeah.
Oh, have now. Thank you.
I think Billy Bob must have
do, yeah.
click on his token to roll it.
Studley, you don't.
No.
But you're out, aren't you?
Yeah, I won't roll initiative.
Yeah. Right. So let me just let me roll something here. Excellent. So let's just put these in descending order. So yeah, so we're straight back into it, and Billy Bob, you are up first. Go for it.
Great. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to take a swing.
Cool.
At the.
This one's the guy, isn't it?
No, that's Aaron.
That's
That's the
Aaron.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Aaron. This one's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. So roll away.
Situation modifier.
No, the only thing that you need to do is add 1 to your situation modifier.
+1.
Because I think you've got. Hang on, before you do that, I think you've got pain tolerance.
I do, yeah.
And what's your current wound status at the moment? How many?
Physical
8
wounds.
boxes of
8 stun.
And what's your pain tolerance at? Is it 1?
Pain tolerance.
Yes, I think it's at 1 because you actually get to 4 before you take a -1, rather than everybody gets to 3. So if you 4, so the next one will be 7. So 8. You actually did you say you got two stun left?
Yeah, 2 stun left.
So don't put anything in there because your pain modifier will have gone by now. Yeah.
So just normal.
Just normal, well, yeah.
5 successes.
3 successes. Yeah, so that's my dodge. So you get 2, so you're doing 11p, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me just make sure of my armor. Am I on the right character here? Yeah. I don't like this music.
I don't mind it because I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Can't hear music either.
It's
Oh,
fine.
I can now because you must have
Yeah,
turned.
10 now.
I'll turn it down a bit.
Oh, it's got music turned off. That's fine.
Found it.
We need the flashing blade music.
Yeah, 5 successes.
You got 5 successes on your.
On my armor, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so he's doing 11, so that's
6.
6 boxes.
Yeah, cool. So it's down to 4. Yeah, cool. Tornado, what's your modifier for your initiative?
My modifier for my initiative, it is 11.
11, so you go first.
Ooh, okay. I am going to try and pick Studley up.
Okay, you're actually taking cover in this stand at the moment, aren't you?
For the moment, yeah. So I want to try and pick Studley up, and then I want to call out to Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. Get ready to go. We need to go.
Okay, lift and carry.
Lift and carry. 2 successes.
2 successes, so you can lift. What's your strength?
Strength is 3.
3, 5 lots of 15. 75 kilograms. How much do you weigh, Studs?
Slightly more than that.
So Tornadoes are like leans down and trying.
All that basically happens is when he grabs him, his sort of like flab round his belly just sort of like goes round and lands
Yeah,
on.
he's sort of like Tornado tries to get really close. That your belly sort of like moves round his face, and he's sort of going. Like that, yeah. Okay then. This is this is the elf Billy Bob firing his gun because that's what he's currently using back at you. Yeah. So you can do a dodge roll for me. I get 3 successes. You get 4, so you actually managed to knock the as the gun comes up, you manage to dodge out the way as it fires off into the distance. Just roll. Pick odd or even. Big.
Odd.
Odd.
Oh, he always rolls even.
Even. It actually.
I said even.
Well, okay. Then you can have. Do you want even?
No, it's fine. I call
Yeah.
odd.
So you picked odd, and it was even. So the dart doesn't hit anybody else. It doesn't hit a bystander or anything like that. It just sort of like pings off into the thing. And his ammo is down to that now. Excellent. And Locke, you up.
Right. Seeing what's going on, I'm going to hack on the fly and try and get a mark on his gun.
Okay, so first thing at all, if you remember, the only thing that you can actually see is his communicator because it's panned at the moment. So his gun is currently running silent. So what you'll need to do is roll a perception test, which will be a complex action. And don't forget you're at -6.
What's the minus
Because
6?
of the noise that's generated by the techno.
Yeah.
That's right, techno. Yeah, sorry. So it's on a pan, the communicator, the comlink. Right, in that case, I'll do a hack on the fly on the comlink.
Okay,
And that's
cool.
still at -6, isn't it? So
It certainly is.
we'll do that situation -6. Ooh, what are you changing? There we go. -6. Oh, 0.
Yeah, you actually try to break into his communicator, and you suddenly realise that it's incredibly protected. It's got a whopper firewall actually roll on it at the moment. Hence why you failed. If you wish to get the rating of that, then of course you could do a matrix perception roll.
Yeah.
Next one. Okay then, guys. You need to adjust your initiatives. Cool. Billy Bob, you're up.
The elf didn't adjust. his
Yeah, I was going to say. Okay, so Billy Bob's going to take another swing at the... Wait, is that right?
Moses'
That's
initiative.
initiative.
Yeah, that's...
You did that last time.
You do have more than one button.
It was 7, by the way. There.
There we go.
4 successes.
4. So I need to do that with that. So that takes it down to that. Yeah, so I actually critically glitch on my dodge thing. So what you get 4 successes, which would be what 13p.
13 boxes, yeah.
13 boxes. Let me just do my armor. 13. Yeah, he only gets 1 thing, which actually you whack him for 1, and you actually do. How much damage do you do there?
13.
13.
Yeah, and that's physical damage, isn't it? Because that's not a call shot.
Yeah, I didn't call shot.
Yeah.
And the other one was as well.
Yeah. So, oh, was it? Okay then.
Yeah.
So this guy he's not unconscious. He's deaded out of it as you hit him. Tornado, you're up.
Right, okay. So seeing that Billy Bob has just dropped this elf, Tornado's going to call to Billy Bob, come and grab Studley, Locke, Aaron,
You
pick.
can't carry all of them.
I was going to say.
Locke, Aaron, grab Erin. We need to get out of here now.
Okay.
And
Elf's
start
out
moving
of it.
that way.
Okay then. So Elf's out of it, and so
There's only a rigger, a mage, and nothing else left.
Billy Bob wants to drag the elf into one of the booths.
yeah. So what actually happens now? If you remember, you have a referee with you, and when you sort of like whack this elf, you sort of like hit it square in the jaw, and there's an almighty crack. As you notice that the jaw actually goes off to one side, and as your fist sort of like carries on, you feel it crunching up, and sort of like you dislodged the pretty elf's face, and then carried on with the blow that actually rammed the top of the mandible sort of like upwards into the elves sort of like orbital into through the orbit and into his brain, and so there's sort of like a splatter of blood, and the referee sort of like shouts out, she shouts out, sorry, this is meant to be non-lethal damage, and tries to, she says, that will be a point off your score. You also notice that people around you now, you sort of like, you notice a person who's close sort of like scream, you know, as this blood sort of like spatters up. Yeah, Billy Bob, you're the only one who's left to act before we roll initiative again. What would you like to do?
Yeah, he's going to turn around and say, it's fake blood, and drag him into the booth.
Yeah, okay then. Just do your lift and carry for me, please.
Lift and carry. Where are you gone? There we go. 7 successes.
Yeah, you sort of like quite easily just sort of like pick him up and sort of like drag him off. Which one would you like to pop him in?
Probably this one here is closer. Oh no, this one's closer, isn't it? Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, so you sort of like push him sort of like under there. Excellent. Okay then, so can we have now initiatives, please?
What, Billy Bob to roll his attack roll?
Did he roll his attack roll?
No, I said
I wish he did.
he rolled his attack roll. 9 successes. Oh, critical glitch.
It's an initiative roll.
Oh,
What does that mean?
that's no mage. That's a rigger.
That's probably the worst dice roll I could have ever done.
No, 11 would have been the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, Billy Bob, you're up.
Okay, so Billy Bob's gonna pick up what's her face?
Evan.
Aaron. Yeah. So lift and carry. This is gonna be so easy.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So you're now carrying Evan. I'll put you onto her sheet because then you should be able to move her.
Right.
Okay. So that's 19. Tornado, you're on 13.
Cool. I want to try and get into VR and get my van up and running and bring it round to the front.
Don't you fall on the
Okay, so
ground?
jumping into a vehicle is a complex action.
I'm not doing a full jump. I want to get it up onto VR. Tricks.
VR would mean that you go limp. That's what I'm saying. That's if you're going VR, that means you become the vehicle.
I thought VR was. I'm not jumping in. I'm not controlling it and going limp. I just want to get it up so I can pilot it remotely.
So you mean AR?
That's what I meant. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
AR.
Okay,
Sorry.
so you switch to AR and then you locate your vehicle, which will be a complex action. So that's it. So you're there, and then something happens. I'm just getting a skill level. Oh, that's to remind me to take the tablet.
Whose phone is that?
That's mine.
Have you taken your tablet? There we go.
Yeah.
Did you press record?
Oh,
Have you just taken?
yes, I did.
On
Right. Okay then, and then I just need to write that, and this is that, and that's that. So I need to do 15 of those. Okay. Tornado, you need to do a soak for me.
A little
Okay.
bit of dribble just started to come out of Studley's mouth.
Is there any armor penetration on it?
Yes, nice one. -5.
Wow, that's me.
get quiet.
Has it rolled, or is it just taking its time?
I haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay, I'll try it again. If it comes up twice, I'll take
this
this one. No, I'll take the second one because
The first one critically glitched.
There you go. Five successes. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's that's 8.
It'd be really funny if the other one came up now with 1.
You take 7 points of physical damage as armor-piercing, high explosive round fires into you from behind. Having a quick look behind you, and Locke, you hear this gunshot. You see striding down below towards you is a member of Team 9 that you've seen already. He's actually some kind of troll mercenary that he's sort of like being dressed up with, and he's doing that wonderful thing when he's just walking down. And as he walked down, he just saw you. He's obviously been coming down this way since the beginning. And while everybody was busy doing something. And as he walks down to this point, he literally just sees you, Tornado. He just raises his Ares Predator heavy pistol and just goes bang straight off into your back on 12. Locke, you're up on 9.
Right. Seeing this, I'm going to move across, get Aaron, and push him this way. This is an enclosure, isn't it? So we can get behind it.
Yeah, these are just booths, so they provide you with like a slight bit of cover.
Yeah, so there's wall either side there.
Okay, so did you say you're pushing him down that way?
Yeah, I'm telling him get behind these.
Okay, then. So, but
Aaron.
are you physically manhandling him? That's what I need to know.
I'll be grabbing his arm and chugging him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine then. So if you just roll your lift and carry, and then we'll see how strong you are compared to Aaron, because you're also a little dwarf. 2 successes. Cool. Let me just roll his strength. 3 successes. Yeah, you sort of like walk past him and you say, "Come with me," and you grab hold of his arm and go, "Whoop," and he goes, "What?" You know, and you sort of like get pulled to one side. And actually,
Obviously worried about his sister more than.
yeah, but that turning him, he actually does turn around and face the oncoming troll as well. Right. So if you adjust your dice rolls. And so Lockie's out of it. So Billy Bob, you're up next on 9.
Okay.
So you've got this guy underneath there now, and you've heard this shot go off. And Locke is here
I think Billy Bob had picked up Ellen.
Yeah, I've got.
Oh yes, yeah. That's it. Sorry, yeah. You've picked up Erin.
So
what would you like to do with her? Chuck her up the troll, please.
Yeah. Billy Bob's gonna run over to this booth and chuck her in there.
Yeah, okay, then that's fine, and that'll be the end of your action. Tornado, you up?
Okay, I'm going to move to the edge of this booth and just like round here, and then I want to give the order to my van I want to start driving my van round to the front.
Okay, cool. So you need to control your van, which is remote control, which will be your pilot craft plus reaction, and you have the handling is the limit on your van. Remember, you have -6 to your roll.
Yeah. Okay. So handling is 3, so limit is 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, hang on. I'll do that again. I forgot to do my -6. I
don't think you can get it, mate.
Probably not. I'm going to try anyway.
What's the
Yeah, so
the
you
the referee? Sorry.
There, I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, good question. Yeah, so you try to get in contact with your van, Tornado, but it seems that there's just a whole lot of over the static thing. And then this is me now. Okay, then. So this guy carries on sort of like walking, and now that Tornado's out the way, he's got a clear shot at both Aaron or you, Locke, but I will give you partial cover from Aaron if he decides to go for you. Let me just read what it says there.
If I'm quick enough, I can pick up Aaron and then move him in front of me, can't I?
Yeah, so he's actually not going to shoot Aaron. He's going to shoot you, Locke. So you can have +2 to your dodge roll. So roll that.
Dodge.
5 successes.
It's on the front sheet. It's underneath where your just above where your initiative is. It says defense dodge.
Fantastic, thank you. And a plus what? Sorry.
Plus, you can add 2 dice to it because of using
So on
Aaron
your
as cover.
situation modifier, just put +2.
And 5 successes, so you need more than 5 to avoid the shot.
So roll and 2.
And just while that's happening, just to let you know that there's a whole load of screaming now, and people right the way around are sort of like running for cover, left, right, and centre. So that's what two net hits. Okay, roll your armour now.
Is there a penetration on it?
Yes, it's -5.
Okay, so you would need to roll the next one next to it, which is
So
soak,
soak, yeah.
and you need to put -5 in there, and it'll automatically take into account any wound modifiers that you got.
Wonderful.
Please don't die. Can't carry everyone.
We're going to have to in a moment.
Yeah, so that's 2 successes, 10. You take 7 boxes of physical damage as another bullet goes into you. What's your physical limit?
My physical limit is 5.
5. So 7 bolt thing. It goes into it, just hits your armor. Your armor absorbs some of it, but you're sort of like knocked back as it exceeds your physical limit, and the troll ends up here. Okay, Billy Bob. Hang on. Is that? Have you adjusted it again, or no? That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah, cool. Okay then, so we're now into next round. So if everybody would like to roll again.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to click my Dinkley-Doo.
It's all right, I can add it.
Oh, did it appear? Yes.
Nice roll. Better roll there.
I know, thank you.
Sammy.
I'm going to use a point of edge, and I want to blitz.
Yeah, you can go. You can take initiative at 22. Go for it. In which case, Tornado, you're up first.
Okay, Tornado is going to pull his pistol,
Okay, simple action.
and I want to shoot at the troll.
Okay, go for it.
Two successes.
Yeah, he despite rolling 8 dice, he gets he doesn't manage to dodge out the way of it. So in which case, what's your total? 8p.
Total is 8p, but you have a +1
Oh,
on
cool.
your penetration.
It's
I'm
actually
using gel rounds.
8S because he's
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm using 8s. Sorry, I've set it up wrong.
damage.
Thank you, Chug.
So
If you
do
go
I get
onto the equipment thing, you can drop it down to stun.
Yeah, changing it now.
8s? And
Yeah.
what
8s.
do I get? I
Plus
get an
1
extra one, do I?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that. 6 successes on my soak.
So,
So that's 2 stun then.
2 boxes, yeah. Cool. Okay, yeah. So at that
And then I want to
point,
use the free action if I can, if that's right.
yeah.
And I want to shout at Aaron, run.
Okay, so the troll's next on 21, and he just sort of like turns his pistol round at this slight pinprick to one side of him, and he just turns around and releases his Ares Predator 5 at you. So you can dodge first. Yeah, so I get 4 successes. You actually critically glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 successes. So roll your armor.
Dear
Your
in
soak.
heaven.
And it's -5, isn't it?
Yeah. Four,
2 successes. Have we had 2 successes? 2 successes.
2 successes with your -5. So that is 8. Yeah, so he turns around, he just levels his gun at you, and he just shoots you, and you take 10 boxes of physical in one fair swoop.
I'm going to use my final point of edge, and I'm going to use not dead yet.
Yeah, and do what?
So in these circumstances, a bullet to the brain, the player may elect to burn. So I'm burning a point of edge in order to keep the character alive against all odds.
Okay, so you've now got 1 point of physical, and you've lost that edge.
Yeah.
So it's gone. Okay, Billy Bob, you're up.
Okay. Billy Bob's gonna charge at the big guy here,
Yeah, cool.
and screaming to everyone, "Get out of here!" And he's gonna.
As you sort of like charge, everybody round you is sort of like just running. In any case, yeah. What do you wish to do when you get there?
I wanna extend my hand blade and use it.
Yeah, so you could do that as a free action because it's smart gun linked. So you will actually call that up as you sort of like walk towards him. So it's a case that you walk towards him and sort of go like that, and it sort of like comes out from the back of your hand. Yeah, and then you can attack. Go for it.
Oh my god! 3 successes.
3 successes. So this guy's on his soak, on his dodge will be at -2 because it's the second time that he's done it this round. So instead of rolling 36 dice, he's only rolling that many dice. And he's got that doing his
it'd be
wound.
34.
Okay, so he gets 1 success. So you have hit him. So you're doing what, 11p?
It's one.
Yeah, he's doing 11p, and you've got a -2 AP.
-2, thank you. 7 successes.
And Billy Bob, what did you get on your dodge?
He was doing 11p, so that's 4 points.
So 4p. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, you sort of like whack your hand spur into this guy. He seems to have quite brutal armor on, Billy Bob, but you manage to sink it in and find the hard, rock solid body of the troll underneath on 15. Locke, you're on 9.
A quick draw holster. Would that still be a complex action to draw?
No, drawing, it just means that you can...
You need to get 2 successes on your...
Pistol plus reaction roll, I think it is.
Yeah, and it means you can draw and fire like 1 action.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so I need to roll what? Sorry, my pistol plus...
Pistol skill,
Plus
which
reaction.
is your reaction, and then you've got to get 2 or more successes. If you get less than 2, you still draw it, but you can't shoot it
fire
as a
it,
same
yeah.
action.
So 8 dice in that case then.
Yeah.
So if I just roll 8 dice...
You can still fire, but it will be 2 actions instead of 1 action.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, don't hit me.
2 successes.
2 successes.
Yeah, just put the greater than 5 in.
I should do, shouldn't I? Sorry.
then that'll do. Yeah. So yeah, the only benefit of quick draw is that you can actually aim as well. So fire. Go ahead and fire.
Right.
Who's this going at?
This is going to go. I'm shooting through two people. This is the problem, but I'm hoping
You
the
are,
troll's
yes.
big enough to see above them.
Right. Okay. Then.
So, yeah,
So you call in shot.
yeah, I'm calling it the troll. I'm shooting the troll.
Okay. So that's -4 to your dice roll then.
Right, -4. So click that. I'm not specialised in that.
It'll come up asking you whether or not you.
So no. Submit. Modifiers -4.
Yeah. Okay. You actually glitch.
Oh, cost -2. Oh, do you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you actually do fire, but it misses. If you're critically glitched, I would have jammed your gun. So yeah, so you draw it comes out to your hand and you fire your, what is it that you fired?
Ares Predator.
Okay, so you roll your you should have a guns. It should come up on there.
Under weapons, it should be just underneath your initiative. Has it got
If you-
weapons?
If you set them up on your equipment
Oh
tab,
yes,
it'll be at the
of
bottom.
course, yes.
Yeah, because then we can see how much
We can
you've
see
done.
what gun it is and what.
Yeah,
what the-
sorry.
Yeah, so you quick draw it and you fire it, but there's a bit of a glitch. You don't
In
actually
fact-
get it into your hand right, and it fires off and misses. And
Did I actually make the wrong roll there? Pistol. Sorry, just give me 2 shakes. Pistol skill.
right, can we adjust initiatives, please?
No, you made the right roll. Pistol plus agility.
No,
-4
it's
modified
the
to-
actual gun's got a 10 rather than it's got an 8 on the skill. But yeah,
I'm not going to win, Wills, because I'm on the floor. I'm out of it.
I thought you had 1 physical left.
No, that's why I did whatchamacallit, because that was me dead.
Did you take 10 boxes of physical, didn't you? And then you burnt an edge, and I thought burning that edge.
No, but it keeps me alive, but it doesn't actually mitigate any damage. Well, it doesn't reduce the damage. It just keeps me alive somehow.
Oh, were you on your overflow then?
Well, that would have taken me on my overflow. I already had a lot of damage anyway.
So what's your overflow is 14. Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah. Okay then. So you're out. Okay. So Troll is up first, and yeah, he sort of like comes up to you, Billy Bob, and quite unexpectedly, he actually drops his gun, and you figure there's some kind of honor in what he's doing, because he actually drops his gun, and you suddenly notice that he's actually got an axe shaft coming up out of the back of his over his head, and he
I thought it was
actually
going to be a thumb war.
and he actually draws his hand axe, and that's his you can't attack with it because it needs a complex action, so that's on 11. 5, you're up.
Okay. Seeing that he's done that, Billy Bob's gonna like give a cheeky grin and throw a punch with his hand blade.
Cool.
Is that a minus?
Are you calling shot?
No.
No.
I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So you don't have a minus. I have the minus to dodge it, and because I've already used this thing, it doesn't work for
5 successes.
8, 6, 4. 2 successes.
5.
Okay, so you're looking at 12p at the moment,
Modifier
minus 2 AP.
minus 2, so it's 20. 8 successes.
So that's 4p.
Yeah, so 4p, actually takes him out because he only had 4 boxes left, which is probably just as well because he's still got an action left.
Yeah, with an axe.
Yeah.
Bye bye, Billy Bob.
It's only 12p. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's the end of that round. Okay then. Question: what is everybody doing? Well, let's go. Locke, what are you doing?
I'm going to holster my gun. I'm going to go over to Tornado and see if I can pull him into the booth where Stanley is. We might as well get them all lined up.
Yeah, just make a lift and carry roll.
Again, yeah.
Billy Bob's going to drag the big guy off to the other booth.
Yeah, if you go where you want to go, then I'll... yeah, so you try desperately to pull him in, and you want him over there with you, Billy Bob, yeah.
Yeah.
And you sort of like manage to half drag him. Tornado's going to come round with several bumps on his head as you sort of like drag him in, and he whacks up against the side of the bar, the canvas pole, and then you pull him in again. Okay, excellent. Yeah, what do you wish to do? Well, Locke.
Right, now he's there, I'm going to vocally to Billy Bob. I'm going to go try and get his van and bring it to the front. We're going to have to get these guys out of here and get them fixed up. I think he said he had a med kit in there or something. So I'll see if I can get that and bring it in rather than trying to drive the van. But I'll try and get in the van first. What do you think? Is that going to be all right?
What?
With that, I'm going to scoot off to I'm going to shoot out and go to the front in the hope that the van's going to be there.
What's happening with all the other people in here?
They're sort of like I previously stated, they're all sort of like evacuated the place. So this area is now sort of like devoid of people. There's just like you people. That's all that's here at the moment. Yeah. So Locke, you start heading off towards the main entrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Bob, what do you wish to do?
Billy Bob wants to get Aaron and Aaron and Studley and
Tornado
out if possible. His main concern is the kids at the moment.
Right. Well, Aaron can actually walk by himself.
Right. So
Erin can't. She's unconscious. Tornado's unconscious, and so's Studley.
Can I try and roll for 2 lifts?
Yeah. Who's the 2 people that you want to
Right.
carry?
So Erin and Tornado.
Okay then. Roll your lift and carry.
Lift and carry. 6 successes.
Right, and at that point, Locke, can you roll initiative for me, please? 6 successes. So what's your strength?
Strength is 7.
Times 13. So you can lift 195 kilograms. So Tornado, how much do you weigh?
I'm just double checking because I've got it in stone. Bear with me a second.
27.
27 stone.
27 stone. I want that in...
Put the fork down.
Is it in kilograms? Do I need it?
Yes, please.
82.5.
82.5
kilograms.
plus 50. Yeah. Okay then. So what we'll do is that we'll let me move him out the way. So what we'll do. So you've got Erin. I think you can move with Erin, and then you sort of like get people out. Studley's still under cover. This troll is lying down bleeding on the floor.
No, I didn't. I dragged the troll off to the booth.
You did, yeah.
Which booth do you want him in?
The one that I was in.
This one, yeah, cool. So he's bleeding out in the booth, and the other elf's bleeding out in the booth, and you've now picked up. You've got Ellen over one shoulder, and you've got Tornado over the other shoulder. Just to let you know, Billy Bob, if you're going to try to do anything apart from run and carry, you're going to have to drop them, you know, in order to pull a weapon or anything like that.
Right.
Locke, you sort of like, it's quite an easy run to the front door. And you sort of like get in there, and you can see the door in front of you, when all of a sudden from out the side springs out in front of you. It seems to be some kind of robotic dog, and it seems to, the other thing that it seems to do is that it sort of like springs out in front of you, and it sort of like, it has red eyes, and it sort of like growls at you, and you see that it actually has an assault rifle on its back. And what was your initiative? 8.
Yeah.
Let me just roll my initiative. And then we'll see who's going to go first.
Good doggy.
1d6. Oh no, it's that. I don't know why I'm bothering this, but I might fail. 4d6 plus 8. Um, 22. I'll put it at doggy.
Doggy.
Cool. Whack. Okay then, yeah, so you sort of like running towards it, and as you're running towards the entrance, this dog comes out, and it sort of goes like that, and aims its gun, and it just blasts some shots at you. If you would like to roll your dodge,
Yep.
and you can, I'm going to have -2 to my roll, just so you know, because you're running. Let me just see what that's going to be. Half of that, which is 50. That plus that, 12. 3 successes.
Right.
What
Okay.
did you get?
So I got 1 success.
So that's, yeah. So now you're soak.
To a minus AP.
What minus is it?
Oh, a good question. Let me just check. -2. So you get 2 successes. So that's 3, 2. Yeah, so it fires off its rounds, and all these things sort of like hit you square on the chest, and you suddenly notice that it's gel rounds, and it just sort of goes on your chest. You actually take 8 stun. Do you have any stun left?
I do. Yep.
Do you have any stun left after 8 stun?
Yes.
1. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I've got 2 left. Sorry.
Excellent. But it goes over your physical limit as well, so you are now sat down on your bottom once again. But it is your turn to act on 8.
Okay. With
Billy
that,
Bob, I'll be coming back to you in a second, don't worry. Haven't forgotten.
-6 on matrix action still. So I'm going to quick draw my gun again and fire.
Yeah, I would probably assume that it's still out from last time.
Oh.
So you can aim, shot, and fire. So you'll get plus, I think aiming is +1 to your roll.
Yeah. Well, +1 accuracy or +1 to the dice roll.
Yeah, so it's up to you which one you want.
Yeah, I'll do it to a dice roll.
Okay, cool. And what are you firing? What's your ammo?
This is sorry, ammo wise is regular ammo.
Okay, so it's -1 on my AP, yeah?
Yeah.
So, 8. So you get 2 successes. I get 4 successes.
Can drones dodge?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's just rolling its armor plus body. But the reason I asked about the weapon is because if it was stun, it does no
Doesn't do
damage.
anything.
No.
Yeah.
But if it was, what do you call it? Stick and shock.
Stick and shock, it would do
does,
more.
it's better.
It would reduce my initiative. I got 4 successes, so that's 10,
6.
6. Okay, yeah. Cool. And then this is me on. This is a drone on 12. Yeah. Which goes again. Yeah. Do you wish to dodge? You can dodge it. Just be at -2 to hit. -2 to your dice roll.
No, definitely.
Obviously not. So that's 3
Yeah,
successes.
fine.
Soak. Are we soaking?
Still muted, Medivac.
You're muted, Maddie.
Sorry, there goes my dodge. 0 dodge. Yeah,
Right.
so
Again, we moved on past that. We're on to soaks now.
soak. There's a minus on my soak, isn't there?
-2, yeah.
-2.
But that's just for the AP of the gun. That's
Yeah.
not because
Yeah, correct.
soak you don't get.
4, 3, 4 will take it. You take another 8 stun.
Right, so I'm 6 over my stun, which then goes on my physical.
Yeah, but it goes at 1 point per 3. So if you're 6 over from your stun, then you'll take 2 points off your physical.
Right,
It doesn't convert as normal.
gotcha.
So
0.
So you're unconscious. Do you still have physical left?
I do have physical left.
Okay, yeah. So use the sort of like drop down to the floor. So you walk running. You manage to get one shot off at this drone. The first one hits you, and then the second one sort of like hits you again, and sort of like knocks you back off your feet, and you land not face down, back down on the floor, and you slowly notice that your consciousness drifts out. Okay, Billy Bob.
Well, it was good knowing you all. Billy Bob's gonna grab these guys and put them in this booth with.
Now you are aware that Locke was going to the front door.
Yeah.
You're also aware that Tornado has got 2 massive holes in his chest because he's in all intents and purposes dead, but not quite yet. He's slowly bleeding out.
There was a side entrance, wasn't there?
There certainly was, yeah.
Billy Bob wants to run or take these 2 towards the side entrance to get these out of here.
Sorry, Erin and Tornado, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So how do we get to the side entrance here?
Yeah, so I'll tell you in 2 seconds. So yeah. So you can head off. The side entrance is just sort of like this way, and
Right.
as you sort of like running out with Erin over one shoulder and Aaron over Tornado over the other, and Aaron coming towards you. You notice that the exit is closed.
Right.
It looks like the majority of the people fled out the other way, or it's been closed. You're not too sure how or why. But so as you run towards it, what would be the plan of action?
Just see if I can get it open. Like,
Okay, so
You're going to have to put at least one person down.
as you
Yeah.
move towards it, you're sort of like thinking in your head, how the hell am I going to open this? Carrying, and Aaron sort of like looks round at you, sees that you're carrying 2 people, and just sort of like turns to you and says, "Chumma, I'll do it." And you notice that his eyes sort of like flicker a bit, and he rolls some dice. Hang a minute. Yeah, and all of a sudden the door just goes bing like that and opens up, and he just turns around to you, Billy Bob, and smiles and says, "My pleasure."
Okay.
And
It was. Yeah, Billy
you
Bob's
you
not so fast.
exit out into the street. Yeah, what do you wish to
Um,
do? You do. Can you make a perception roll, please, Billy Bob?
Perception. Three successes.
Yeah, you can hear the sound of police sirens. Law enforcers seem to be coming onto scene, but they at the moment this side entrance is clear. But you do notice that the law enforcers are whizzing past you, going to the front exit, or the front exit for you, but entrance for everybody else.
Right. So Billy Bob wants to get them into cover as much as he can, and he wants to use his med kit on Tornado.
Okay, yeah. Okay then. So your med kit, I think. What rating is it?
It's rating 1.
1. Okay then. So you can add your rating to it, and I think off the top of my head, it's it'll be your first aid roll. So it'll be first aid plus logic, and you need 2 or above. But I think we worked this out. What's your essence, Tornado?
So yeah, we've it's changed because I calculated it wrong. So I've got an essence left of 1.2.
1.2, so that's 1 there for all intents and purposes. So it's 6 minus. Let me just get it this right.
Have you only got rating 1 med pack?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was 3.
How much did you pay for it?
I can't remember. I paid quite a bit for it.
To be honest, Big, it's not worth it. You're not going to be able to do enough.
Well, so roll your first aid plus your logic, and then it's do that first. But how many dice are you rolling?
First, does this count my logic already? Because it's got attribute
yes, yeah,
logic.
it'll
Just
do
roll.
your logic already. Yeah.
Right. So just roll my first aid
And add 1 onto it.
and add 1. Right.
Yeah, but then you have to take 5 off for because Tornado doesn't have a lot of essence. So what I'm saying is that if you've only got 1 dice to roll after the -5, then you need at least 3
Well,
spare dice.
yeah,
Alright.
because I'm all intents and purposes I'm dead. But because I burnt my edge, I'm still just alive. So I'm on, as far as I understand it, I'm on
you
my
are,
mind
yeah.
overflow anyway. So you've got to get 4 hits just to finish stabilizing me. As far as I understand it.
Yeah, so it's your
Have
dice
you-
roll -4, isn't it?
Have you got any edge? Have you got your edge left?
I've only got 1 edge, and I think I used it.
Billy Bob, literally use
I'm
it
just coming
on
into your character sheet.
use it on the girl and get out.
Well, she's just unconscious.
Yeah, she should be
Oh,
fine.
she-
Just get out. It's fine.
Yeah, so you're going to roll 4 dice. You've got, say for example, your rating of your med kit is probably +3 in any case, because people don't buy a +1 rating med kit. So that's +3 for that. So that'd be 7 minus. You're actually outside, so now that's -2. So 7. Just roll 5. No, because then there's the -5, which means that you can't actually score 2 or more hits. At
So,
all.
right. So there's no point.
No point.
There's no point at all. And the other thing is, the girl Erin with you is not dying. She is just
Right.
sort of like
Okay, then.
unconscious. Aaron says that he will carry Erin, and they suggest we get back to. He says to get back to the hotel. Tornado, Studley, and Locke. Do you have any dock wagons?
No.
No. Okay then. I was
Billy
just-
Bob.
I do have a will.
Billy Bob wants to have a look round to see it. Like, obviously, there's like gunshots coming off. There's like police coming in.
Yeah, there's no more gunshots now.
But he wants to look round, see if there's any dock wagons that's like arrived.
Yeah, there's dock wagons arriving because they come as standard because there have been reports of a shooting.
Right. So Billy
Yeah.
Bob's going to take Tornado to the dock wagon.
Yeah,
So
cool.
he's going to take them both to the dock wagon. So true.
Yeah, okay then. So you get to the dock wagon. By the time you get round to the front of the building, you notice that the law enforcers are actually going in, and the paramedics are sort of like standing by, and then they sort of like go in. So one of the dog wagons stabilizes Tornado, but he's going to have to go to hospital.
I'm going to hate you when I wake up, Billy Bob.
They can actually revive Erin because she's just stunned, and then that's it. Can somebody just roll 8 dice for me, please? Greater than 5, as usual.
Done.
Yeah, so Erin will actually come round pretty quickly in any case once she's in the dock wagon, and Aaron will go with her in the dock wagon, ready to head off. Tornado, you're in a separate dock wagon and you are stabilized, so you're not dying, but obviously you're still unconscious. Studley, what's your wounds like?
I'm full. I'm full physical. I'm full stun.
Okay.
So I'll be an hour before I can make my first test.
Yeah. So what's happening inside now is that the law enforcers are in and they're grabbing you and administering first aid, etc. So just roll your body plus willpower, Studley, for me. Extended test, please.
Plus will pass 9.
It's a 1 hour extended test. So we just need to know roughly how long you're going to be out for it. What was it? All 10 boxes of stun?
Yes.
So after 4 hours, you're actually going to be back up. And Locke, tell me about your damage.
I am 5 health, but no stun.
Okay then. So the dock wagons will probably heal you up and get you back on their feet. But for all of you, there will be a cost involved if you don't have a dock wagon contract as such. So can you just roll your body times 2?
Who?
Locke. Sorry, Locke, yeah.
Body times 2.
Well, let's do. How much stun damage have you taken? All of it.
I've taken 10 stun damage.
Okay, so roll. Sorry, your body plus willpower.
Body plus willpower. So that is going to be
Extended test, please.
extended. Right.
Yeah. And let's see how long you're out for.
Oh. Stop it. Minimum number of dice, 0.
How much? You need a full 10, don't you? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. So after 7 hours, you're still not. After 7 hours, you've got 7 points of stun back. Okay, so you're conscious, but you're not fully recovered. And then you sort of like probably later on the day you'll actually get released. Right, Tornado, tell me, what's your physical damage?
So at the moment, because I burnt an edge, my physical damage is 14. It would have been 15 because you would have killed me out.
Okay, cool. So make an extended test of body times 2.
Extended test, body times 2.
That's 9. 1. So you, how many on your overflow? You're 14.
I was on foot. I had taken, I'm on minus 4 health at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So you need 5 to become conscious then.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1. So after 2 days, you will eventually become conscious, and then you will add 5 boxes. So what does that put you into for your physical?
So I've got 5, so that's 9 physical at the moment. So I've got 1 health,
Cool. Okay.
and
Yeah.
I've also got 9 stun as well.
Yeah. So you don't actually have a contract with Doc Wagon, so
No, which is why I said I'm going to hate Billy Bob.
yeah. So they bring you round, and that's what they bring you round for. You can stay in there and use their medical facilities, but it is costing you per day at the moment.
Do you know how much it's going to be costing me per day?
No, but I would have thought about 1,000 credits.
You can't put a price on your wellness.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I can
Well,
unless
you
I'm being
can,
paid
yeah.
for this job.
okay,
For
so
this job I'm staying. If I'm not, I'm going.
so I figured now that basically Lock you're out for 7 hours, I think I said, yeah, and Tornado you're out for days. Studley, you'll be the next person who comes around in a wagon. Because yours is stun. They don't use stim patches on you because obviously you can get addicted to that. So they do it the old-fashioned way. They just slap you a few times across their face.
I'm not paying 1,000 credits for that.
No, they already.
We
Do you
could
know
do that ourselves.
they're
Jennifer
really,
doesn't charge me that.
do you want to know they're really nasty because they actually scan your sin first before they actually heal you. Doc Wagon has that privilege to do. They can heal then ask later. So Billy Bob, Aaron, and Erin, you're back at the hotel. What do you wish to do?
So yeah, Billy Bob's just gonna make sure the kids are all right. He's gonna try and he would have tried to get back in, but seeing all the police in there,
It's probably a good idea not to.
yeah. So he would have been back at the hotel looking after the kids, waiting for
People to get back. Yeah. Cool. So I think, guys, that'll be an appropriate moment to take the break. I know it's 10 minutes or 12 minutes early, but it seems an appropriate point rather than doing anything else and coming back to it. So we'll have a quick 10-minute break. So go off and get yourself a drink, and we will be back in 10.
quick biscuit.
Okay, so I've just been looking up medical costs. So I've taken this from having a hospitalized lifestyle. So it costs 500 credits per day and 1,000 credits per day for intensive care. Studley and Locke, you will have to reduce by 500 because you will be out within the day because you're just down to hours, but it's 500 credits per day full stop. So even if you're in there for an hour, you still pay 500 credits.
Don't you roll your eyes, Sugar Wugger?
I would have just come round in the tent.
Yeah, but they sort of like giving you careful. They made sure that all your memories intact, etc., etc., etc.
And also taking all the cash out of your pockets.
Now, where was Tornadoes? How many?
2 days.
I'm in intensive care because I've been shot twice in the chest with.
And
armor
how
piercing.
long were you in there for? 2 days, was it?
Minimum 2 days so far. I'm probably going to be in there for
Well,
3 days.
if 2 days takes you up to 1 physical, then you're well enough to leave hospital. So yours would be 2,000 credits that they've looked after you, they've fed you, they've kept that thing on that goes bleep, 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 bleep,
Yeah.
to make sure that you're still alive at the end of the day. And that's it. Okay, then. So Studley, you'll be first back at the hotel, I think, because you healed quicker. So it'll be Studley first, then you Lock about, I think yours was about 7 hours, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so you'll be there back. So, Billy Bob, you take Aaron and Erin back to the hotel, and you're sort of like waiting in the in their room with in their room with them. I presume whose room would you like to be in, Erin's or?
Really, I would like to be in. I'd like to take them into my room or our room. So
Aaron sort of
rest
like
up as
looks
well.
a little bit disgusted at your room because it's all like it's where all 4 of you have been staying, isn't it, in bunk beds?
Yeah, don't be picky.
Yeah. But by the way, I forgot to say, Erin actually has a dock wagon contract, so she will be healed up absolutely fine. So how long are you planning on staying in there, Billy Bob, and what would you like to be doing while you're in there?
He'd like to be resting as much as he can, but at the same time being aware that there's people after him.
Okay, so I'll tell you what that would entail, and then it's up to you what you do. So what have you taken, physical or stun damage?
I have got 8 stun.
8 stun. So if you roll your body plus willpower for me, please, and can you use the extended test button?
Right. So that's body plus will.
Yeah. And then just put 0, 0 in the others.
13 0 0.
Oh, nice. How many stun do you need back?
What did I say? I can't remember. So I've taken 8 stun.
Right, so you need 8. So actually, you can actually just rest. So character must rest for the entire hour for it to count. Force naps and consciousness also count. And then so each hit. So after 2 hours, you will have recovered your stun. Okay, so that's fine. So and how long when are you back up, Studley?
I think it was 4 hours. It
Okay,
was
cool.
going to take me to.
So Billy Bob.
recuperate.
Okay, so Billy Bob stays in the room with Erin and Aaron, and then Studley will jump to your 4 hours. What is it that you would wish to do? So you've been released from hospital.
Okay, so as soon as Studley's released from hospital, the first thing he's going to do is to get on his comm unit and just put a quick call into his mom just to make sure that she's all right. And then after that, he's going to start ringing round the other people to find out what the situation is with everybody.
Yeah, okay then. So mom's absolutely fine, not to be confused with mother, who's now gone.
For good.
Well, until she's re-summoned, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, yeah.
So that's fine. And then we've got so Billy Bob's at the hotel with Erin and Aaron, who are both conscious. Locke's still recovering in hospital, and Tornado's still in intensive care after some heroic deeds in the convention hall.
So after hearing that,
although Studley, you weren't around to see it, but
no.
Yeah,
I'll fill him in.
On hearing that, Studley's going to tell Billy Bob that he's on his way back. But hearing from what went on, he would suggest that maybe they move somewhere else with Erin and Aaron, because there might still be a mage about somewhere.
Okay.
And maybe even a rigger. But he's then going to hail a cab and start heading towards the.
Yeah, so it'll cost her like about 10 credits for the cab, and then you can arrive at the hotel at the Madison. Billy Bob, are you moving Erin and Aaron before Studley gets to you?
If he's advised me to, then yes.
Where would you like to move to? You can talk to him because you're in communication with each other.
So Billy Bob's gonna. Where do you suggest we go?
You could maybe hire a room under your name, or book out of the hotel and book into another hotel on your name.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna the next, not closest hotel, but the next. Yeah, so not the next closest, but the next closest to that.
Yeah, so you sort of like come down the stairs, and as you come down the stairs, two very smartly dressed guys come in. They have the typical dark glasses on, and they have little earpieces in. Just roll your perception for me, please. Yeah, two successes. You notice that they got characteristic bulges just underneath their arms, underneath the left armpit. And as you come down with Aaron and Aaron's still a bit groggy from being drugged virtually. Aaron just says, "Oh no, it's Bill and Ben," and he seems to know Aaron and Erin, and sort of like comes up to you, Billy Bob, and says, "Thank you very much. Mr. Dreyfus has sent us to take over from here."
Billy Bob's gonna turn around to Aaron and say, "You know these two?"
Oh yeah. He looks at one of them and says, "That's Bill, and that's Ben." "Oh, are you Bill, and you're Ben? Or are you both Ben?"
Flower pot men.
You notice one of them sort of like puts his hand to his earpiece and says, "We're in possession of the package."
He's gonna ask Aaron again. Are you safe with these?
He says, "Oh yeah, we'll be probably locked away in our room for several days now." And he turns around to you, Billy Bob, and he says, "Can I just say it was quite fun?" He says, "I definitely want to be a Shadowrunner now, because if you remember, they're dressed in Shadowrunner outfits." And the two, Bill, or it might be Ben, sort of like signals to the door, and Erin lets out a sigh and heads off, and Aaron follows on, and you just hear them as they go away put their finger to their ear and say, Eagle is mobile. And they go outside, and as they go outside, Studley, you're just arriving in the car, and suddenly this huge van sort of like pulls in and sort of like cuts you off, and the taxi driver sort of blares his horn and calls various nasty swear words out the window, and the side door opens and two more of these appear to be suited security guards get out, and Erin sort of like walks in, and she looks down and she sees you in there. She goes, "Hi."
Suddenly a wave and go, "Did you have a nice time?"
And she gets she gets
You never know. She might like that sort of thing.
and she
Next
gets in,
time we're going to go to Jurassic World.
gets in the van, and then Aaron goes in after, and just sort of like turns to you and goes,
Yep.
Like
Suddenly
this.
go, "Oh, shop."
and
So-
then the security guards get in the driver's clothes, and it's driven away. Now, just to let you know, your room in the Madison is actually kept for the rest of the day, for that the rest till tomorrow, when the convention was typically ending. It's paid up to then, so you're all right to stay there. And Locke comes back after about 7 hours and sort of like meets you in there, and you are it's at the end of the night. So darkness is settling, and you get a comlink call from Gilbertson, if you remember Louis Gilbertson. And they sort of like there's a request for you to meet him in the Madison's conference room at 10 o'clock the next day.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will be there. Yeah.
Sorry, it's not a call. It's just like a
message. text
yeah.
message.
Well, it's more like an
Is there any emoji? at the
order.
end? Oh, right.
It's just sort of like says Madison's conference room, 10 a.m. Be there, and that's all it says.
So Studley will probably head home for a bit, spend the night at home, and then he'll come back the following morning. He'll probably come back on his Dodge scooter and park it somewhere. But he'll empty his he'll empty everything out the hotel straight away to head back, let anybody know who's there, that he'll be back at 10 a.m. for the meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so 10 a.m. comes the following day. So I think the three people who are actually up and running and able to attend the meeting will be Locke, Billy Bob, and Studley. So you're there. Yeah. Is there anything you would like to prep before going into the meeting?
Studley will have increased charisma on him.
Yeah, cool.
So
roll your dice.
yes, increased charisma. He will be casting it at Force 3 because he will be using his concentration to keep going.
Yeah, cool. So magic plus spell casting. So you get 2 successes and you resist the drain. That's willpower plus logic. So it's increased by.
And extra, can I haven't taken my stun up.
Oh, so roll 3 more dice then. There's no point doing it for your drain one because you've resisted in any case.
Yeah.
Just roll 3 for your.
Yeah, I'm just doing it now. Yeah, yeah.
1. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not actually a glitch. because compared to everything else, it only gives you 4 ones. Yeah. So what's your charisma at now?
That'll put him up by another 3, so that'll put him up to 6 charisma.
Okay. So anything else that anybody would like to do?
Yeah, Billy Bob's just gonna obviously take. He's gonna be wearing his armored jacket, but he's gonna take his timber off.
Just to remind you, Love Shack started this week in the game
A new
as well.
series.
Yeah.
He'd be watching that as well.
And Locke will be same thing, wearing his armoured coat and having his basically for his running gear with his suit.
Okay, so during the night, when he's at home, Studley wants to go onto the Matrix. He wants to have a look to see on the news feeds of what was actually reported at games.
Yeah, good idea.
Gamescom.
Roll your computer search, Matrix search.
Whether or not there was anything, what they had come up with, 4 successes.
Okay, 4 successes. So, number 1, across most of the networks, but featuring quite prolifically on Network 7, that, if you remember, is the main news channel. It obviously reports on GameCon's demise, its fall, its failure, and it talks about gunfire at the old GameCon, and bullets fly with geeky gamers and things like that. Who would have thought those guns were real? This is a new meaning to cosplay and everything like that, and it looks like that. Nobody else, it reports that there was some deaths, and it sort of like reports that these people, one of them, the elf, appears to be a local bookshop owner, and the troll comes up as a local bodybuilder, and the troll's actually won several competitions already, and there's lots of things like a lot of people saying, oh, this will be a great loss. He cared so much for the community. Who would have done such a thing with it? And even the elf, who's like a local shop owner, says things like, always had a kind thought, always looked after people, so nice he was, etc, etc, etc. And it just sort of like goes on about that. Yeah, and it looks like the GameCon was shut early. You know, it didn't go on the rest of that day. Is there any other information that you would like?
So, according to sort of like the business section, does it look like the darker game?
No, there's a lot of comments by the Darkest Shadow Con on a lot of the news story and things like that. Sort of like the death of Games Con. Next year, come to us. We are the best. You know, we have no shootings at our Game Con. Things like that. Just roll your computer roll again.
Is there any arrests?
No, Studley doesn't find any arrests.
Is it a search or is it just a computer and logic?
Just a computer and logic. You need 5 hits or above to notice this.
Yeah, sorry, that's
Right. Because I'm specialised in Matrix.
So you need 5 hits or above. Do you wish to edge anything?
4 more.
No, because
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I would use a point of edge on a computer.
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so
if it was a magical role,
yeah, okay then, that's
which
cool.
is my forte, then yeah, I probably would use a point of edge. But
Yeah, okay then, so there you go then, that's your information.
Okay.
So you're all suitably decked out and looking like Shadowrunners as you make your way to
Studley's not.
Well, he
He's
just looks like Studley, and makes your way to the into the sort of like conference room. And when you get there, you notice some of the suited guards are there again. This one of them might be Bill and one of them might be Ben, but you're not too sure. And they just sort of like show as you approach. They don't even wait for you to say anything. They just open the door, and as you go in, there's a long table in front of you. And right the way down at the other end, you notice that Louis Gilbertson and Mr. Dreyfus is there. And you notice that sat over in the corner on a city-like structure is Aaron and Erin. And they're both in their normal garb now. And you sort of like walk in and Mr. Dreyfus sort of like looks rather cross, and he's sort of like drumming his fingers.
So Studley's going to walk in, and he's going to walk past the sofa where Erin and Aaron are sitting, and he's going to smile and nod, and then he's going to go sharp.
Yeah.
Before carrying on to the towards the table.
Yeah, Aaron's back onto his. If you remember him at the beginning, he was back on his iPad. And as you get, all three of you get down to the far end, Louis Gilbertson, who sort of like hired you, says, "Well, quite simply, you blew it. Now my convention is absolutely history. It's toast. Between a Lone Star investigation, the lawsuits that will be levied against me by the city and others, I'll be lucky to afford to live in my car after this. I can't really do anything for you."
Billy Bob's going to turn around and say, "But your kids are safe."
Yes, but the purpose of the job was to make them have a good time.
Did they not have a good time? I'm sure that Aaron especially had a very good time.
Oh yes, they enjoyed being narco-jetted and injected in possibly lethal poison and knocked out. And oh yes, Aaron's well away. He definitely wants to be a shadow runner now. And you look over and he goes, "Sup?" Like this. And he says, "But apart from that, I can't say that they enjoyed it." And Mr. Dreyfus speaks up. He's wearing a pinstripe suit at the moment. That is actually, it's a grey suit, but the pinstripes, it's double barred, and it's like pink and white. So he looks a bit like a candy cane. And he sort of like sits down and says, "Louis, I am so disappointed in you. You could have got my vote. You could have had it."
And why would you not be giving him your vote?
Because my children, my dear children, one got heavily drugged, and the other one appears to have been fired at.
But that's because, really, you put them in that situation.
Oh, I see. It's my fault, is it?
Well, yes. Because
He sort of like looks to Louis and says, "So it was my fault, Mr. Gilbertson. I just wanted my children to have a good time at your gaming convention, and because I sent them there, it's my fault." And Louis Gilbertson sort of like looks at you, sort of like daggers Studley. I said, "No, Mr. Dreyfus, I don't think that is the case as well. I don't think Mr. Lovely was meaning that at all."
Well, I was just looking on the fact that the people who obviously wanted to change Mr. Dreyfus's mind specifically went after his children. If he was actually going to back Gamescom and keep it at the gaming convention, then it wouldn't have actually been an issue in the first place.
What do you mean somebody went after my children?
Well, it was obvious from the start that the people that attacked at the gaming convention, please don't believe everything that you actually hear in the news. The It was a coordinated and well put together plan, and with the sole intention of causing your children harm. And if it wasn't for myself and my colleagues, then you probably would have been burying people rather than sat here and blaming people for, well, having a bad conference.
Okay, so Mr. Dreyfus sort of like casts a look straight at Mr. Gilbertson and says, "What is this, Mr. Gilbertson? That there was an attack." And Mr. Gilbertson sort of like goes, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Dreyfus. I'm sure Mr. Lovely here has brought some kind of evidence to support these claims. Haven't you, Mr. Lovely?"
Well, well, to begin with, we have the fact that several people were shot, including Aaron. And of course, if we could actually tear Aaron away from his comm unit, he would fill you in that there were several people trying to harm both him and his sister. And it was only with my colleagues putting their physical bodies in between the bullets and your children that yes.
Okay, roll your con roll.
I do get a modifier of 3 on this.
Plus, we've got one of our colleagues in hospital.
I get 4 successes.
Mr. Dreyfus turns round to Mr. Gilbertson and says, I'm assuming that this Mr. Lovely is saying the truth here. I do expect some investigation done on this, Mr. Gilbertson, to verify it. And Mr. Gilbertson says, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is the first thing I knew about it. I was not aware of anything like this has happened ever before." And Mr. Dreyfus clicks his fingers, and Erin and Aaron get up, and they come across, and Erin comes up to you, Billy Bob, and just comes up to you, and she approaches you with a bit of a trot, and then she just wraps her arms round your head, so she stands on tippy toes and gets really hugs you, and her face gets really close to the side of your head, and you hear her whisper. She says, "You're my favourite orc ever." like that. And Aaron comes up to all of you, and he says, "You know, guys," he says, "you've made me want to be a shadow runner." And a a smile spreads across his face, and you just hear Mr. Dreyfus mumbling in the background something about over his dead body. And
He'll say, education comes first, of course.
Yeah. And then Aaron comes and disconnects Erin from you, Billy Bob, and turns round to you and says, he says, "Don't worry," he says, "I'll keep an eye on her for you." And they leave the room with Erin almost skipping, as if nothing's happened in the world. And you, as she skips out, you're not too sure, but you think you either hear Aaron or Erin saying, "Can't wait till next year," or something like that, as they go out, and the door shuts, and Mr. Gilbertson's in there, and he says, "You have caused me so much problems this week."
Billy Bob's going to turn around and say, "It was no picnic for us, yo."
You know, all you had to do was ensure that they had a good time.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did at the end.
Yes, their chosen career path isn't really down to us. That will be more the parents.
Certainly did. What was your amount of money that you agreed on to start off with?
20,000.
1 million.
I don't think it was a lot, to be honest with you, because the thing that we were getting, we had that.
It actually was 20,000 per person.
Are you sure?
No.
We've never been paid that much before.
But bearing in mind, it was full.
Oh, no, it was. No, it was 20,000 per person. You're right.
Down.
I've got it written down as well.
over 4 days.
No,
$5
somebody
grand
just writes how much money they're getting down. The rest of the
We don't need to do anything else.
No. And then we've had all the top up as well from Aaron.
Well, the thing that I was more interested about was your number of successes.
You did good, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
And you got another deck as well.
Studley's roll. And
on the which one? The one that I've just made, or
no, on your initial one. I think I wrote it down here.
Oh, what, on his negotiation?
Right, let's have a look. Okay, so Mr. Dreyfus is going to pay you. However, he's going to have to deduct some cash from you due to expenses, etc., and whether or not there actually will be a
positive balance.
yeah, but once it, I'm just trying to find, because I wrote it down, because you went to the battle grid. Oh, here we go. 20,000 per person, and then your team earns an extra 1,000 per net hit. That's what I was looking for. So roll your negotiation now, and then we can see how much you get, and then we can work it on that.
I was just looking to see whether or not, because I should be able to find it from the start of the adventure, shouldn't I?
Yeah, well, I've got here 3 net hits circled. Look.
That's
Right. Okay. So, to be honest with you, I thought it was 3, but
Okay, so that was 3 net hits. So therefore, currently your total amount that would be coming to you would be 23,000 each. However, there's some debate whether or not they had a good time. They didn't have a good time on the first day. The second time, the second day, you almost like
broke even.
well, you remedied it because and the final day, the LARP event, although Aaron had quite a good time being a Shadowrunner, Erin didn't, although she's not bitter.
She can't
about
remember
it. Yeah, I think that's why she didn't have a good time, because she was drugged. So in which case, what he's going to do, he will say that literally there were 4 days, okay, of the thing. There were
Was it 23,000 per day? Was it?
no, it was 20,000 per person plus your 3,000 with the extra credits after it. So out of the 4 days, we'll say that they had 2 all right and 2 not all right. and that's giving you the favour of the LARP. I'll say 1.5 days. Not very good. So therefore, they will. You will get. So you'll get. What is it? 20k. So you'll get. You'll get 1,500 each. I'm sorry, 12,500 each, because that's your 1.5 days taken off. And therefore, the other thing that you get, so it'd be 12,500 plus you'll get an extra 3,000 on top of that.
Each?
No, as a bonus.
Right.
And then you'll get you already also got 10k. Oh no, sorry. No, it says 1,000 per, an extra 1,000 per person per next hit. So that would be so that's 3,000. So that would be 15,500 each. That's how much you'll get. Okay, and as you leave, you do notice that. I've got it all written down here. Yeah, so the maximum payout is 30,000 for the whole thing. So you got sort of like half of that. So that is a total of 15,500. Okay, so here's your karma now.
What was the adventure called, Tommy?
Unconventional warfare job. Right, you get 2 points. Okay, so this is slightly different, these roles. Okay, so 1 karma for preserving the rules at least until day 3. Yes, you can have that. So that's 1. 1 or 2 karma for surviving the adventure. So yes, I'll give you 2 karma for surviving the adventure.
That's 3.
And the karma is available now for exceptional planning, role playing, or interacting with the Dreyfus twins.
I did that.
And 1 karma for staying in character at the convention. That would be in role playing. I will think about that before next time.
Will you be giving them individually?
I will be giving it individually, yeah.
Right.
So therefore you get 1, 2, you get 3 karma points. Okay. Public awareness. No, that's all right. And there's one last thing that Gilbert says just before you head off, and he sort of like says, he says, please remember, he says, to keep quiet about this. He says, because I do know quite a lot of fixers, and that's his parting comment as he allows you to head off from the hotel and back to your beloved mothers and girlfriends and boyfriends and decks, etc., etc. So
Studley's parting words are probably, see you next year.
I was going to say that.
Yes.
well, it depends whether or not any of you are actually alive next year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a deck off that decker. Could I do what we did with the last one and pass it over to be sold off for the party funds?
Yeah, what kind of deck was it?
I don't know. You never told me. It was the one outside the. Oh gosh, where?
It was at the back of the game convention, wasn't it?
No. It was the subway, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Just out the top of the subway, and there was that decker that.
You were in AR. You were in VR
Sorry?
when you went to the subway.
Oh, I wasn't I?
Yeah. You weren't.
Yes, I
There.
wasn't physically there.
So you probably
But
spent
yes,
a while
I
going
could-
trying
Yeah,
to pick up
because-
this.
I know. I just realised because at the end of it, I went.
Oh, do you want to know these people who try to get extra equipment? Remember that bulldog van that I accidentally picked up in the last thing? You probably haven't got it written down in words.
I do have that.
Wills, can you remember? Do you remember that you left a tank outside?
Oh yes, yeah. I left the vertical takeoff and landing vehicle. Yeah, I remember you picked that up in Tesco's on the way home. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because
Yeah.
Do you want to know what's more worrying?
That's how well I was playing VR. You see.
No, what's more worrying is that you
like
actually
the,
wrote it down that you had it.
I see my book as well.
Yeah. Oh yes, in Will's mentions deck, I'll have that. It's not whatever I mention. Yes, I've
Are you
got.
sure it's not the one that we picked up
That's
last?
what it is.
Yeah.
The adventure before, which
No. At the end of the
because
the
we
last
thought that
adventure,
your adventure
And
was
the
your deck was broken.
No. The one before, but when you're in the subway, I went
It's in
to
the subway,
AR.
and I took the weapons off the body, and I put them in the
The bins, yeah.
bin.
I remember that, but I
And
don't.
then there's a guy outside who was blocking the door, and
There wasn't, mate.
there
It
was.
wasn't.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking
No, Tornado.
the first adventure, or the adventure where the part of the adventure when
Before that.
you're thinking of
Go
the
back,
session
I go
before
back.
that,
But-
when you then got into my van.
They were trying to get into your van, a couple of sessions ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they were trying to get into your van, but I was in AR, not
Yeah,
real life.
you weren't there.
Actually, there was nobody trying to get into the van. It's because he critically glitched on his perception check, and he only thought that there was people trying to get into his van.
Oh yeah, that is the case.
yeah,
It was a critical glitch. Yeah. Well, what I'll do, Medivac, is that
No.
I'll look back on the video.
I know exactly what it is. I was in VR, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'm
But
just
yeah.
interested
I
because
can't even think of the guy.
well, I can't think of
There
that.
definitely was a guy. There definitely was a guy there.
So
That's
it
what I
was,
need to look at. Yeah.
we
No,
knocked
was it
two
the
out.
Gamescom? No, wasn't the Gamescom at the back of the Gamescom?
We knocked
Went
two
on the
out.
side
There
door.
was two
was-
guards outside the
Yeah,
subway. And we
When
knocked them out.
Studley was stood next to the guy waiting at the back door to get the games out the back of the Gamescom.
Right.
That guy came in, didn't he?
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
I will look back on both of them and see what this this deck that you managed to pick up. in here.
I did say in game that I picked it up. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
don't worry because that's one of the joys of it being videoed. That we could actually hear whether or not you said it, and if not,
can I ask
if
a
not,
question?
maybe you would. I'll probably come back next week and say, no, you didn't say anything, Medivac, and you'll say, sorry, I was actually muted there, so I said it, but nobody else actually heard it.
I could use my hacking skills and hack into it.
Yeah, I bet.
I
Just roll your con.
I watched it back, and I distinctly saw my mouth moving.
Yeah.
And can I ask where the when
Potato.
the Niners came into it? Or
Say again, sorry.
where did the Niners come into it?
Oh,
Or
did
was
you
that
work it
something-
out?
No.
yeah.
They were hired by the other con to disrupt it. I bet.
Well, the people who were actually attacking you in the game was Team 9.
All right. Yeah.
Ah.
So they were actually Team 9. That was actually made up of, in true Shadowrun style, a rigger, a
Yeah.
decker, a face, a shaman, and a troll, mercenary. So the reason that the people found you so easy to hit is because they actually had surveillance on you
Yeah.
right from the beginning via their drones. And the reason at one point, Locke, I think I said that the pan was very well protected because it's protected via the decker who was there, okay, in the host, providing backup if and when needed. And the shaman was the guy who made the beast spirit.
Yeah, I should got rid of that. then.
To actually, and you did quite well with that actually, because the beats it was a force 5 spirit, and just so you know, it had 4 services. So if you tried to banish it, you would have had to get 4 net successes to
Again,
banish it.
I would have been taking Drain as double its successes.
Yeah, the elf was Cisco, and that he was playing the part of the NPC in order to lure Erin out. And at that point, just out of interest, Team 9 were actually hired to kidnap them. That's what they were planning on doing at that point. And then I was very impressed, Billy Bob, that you actually took out the Merc, because his armor was actually 25. His soak. He was actually rolling. He had armor on plus his body, which actually took it up to 25. Well, it was actually higher at one point, but he took some damage, and so it was further down. But he had APDS, armor piercing, discharging.
I felt 2 of them.
Yeah. So he and his initiative was 3d6s plus 8. Because
he fibered out as well.
Yes, oh yes, he was. Very much so. So he was well underway. But he's quite a noble person. So when you engaged him with hand-to-hand combat, he did think you would step back, Billy Bob, and let him go into proper combat. You never met the shaman.
No.
Okay. Probably just as well. And you didn't meet the Decker, although, which is something really interesting, you've probably aggroed the rest of Team 9.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they will have pictures of you, etc. And just out of interest, Studley, the reason I asked for that role, you know, that additional computer role,
Oh, right, yes.
was to see whether you noticed that the reports had been altered.
Right, yeah. See, I mean, that's not the type of thing that Studley finds out. He'll find out the information as far as sort of like digging into code and stuff like that.
So basically, you would have found out that all those nice things that were said about them
came from the Niners themselves.
Exactly. To make it look like it was quite a nice place.
One can only hope our deck would have done the same thing for us. If the situation had been reversed.
So Crank was working for Team 9 as well. So basically what was happening was that Team 9 were a group of Shadowrunners who were hired to do the opposite of you guys. So they were hired to make Aaron's and Erin's a life of misery. So Crank cheated at the first game via computering. So he actually spoofed the game, etc. And that's why he had a trolley, because that's where his cyber deck was, that he was using to spoof the game. All the guns. Was it gunpowder and ladders? Was it gunshots and ladders?
Gunshots
was actually taken up and bought up by the Red Aaron, who was a decker as well, who actually had a whole load of agents buy them all really quickly, and he actually, the only way he could have them out was to set a bomb on the engine, the electrical generator. And which you could have found if you wanted, and there were several. It was quite an interesting way, because to actually find it, you could have done like a matrix perception check. You could have what was it? You could disarm it if you found it with a demolitions plus logic, or if you didn't have that, you could do it by electronic warfare, and so forth and so on. So that could all sort of like be worked out. And the interesting thing is, the Lone Star officer, Officer Lyman, had actually been paid by the Niners to look the other way when that was going on, and that's why you had his comlink call, if you remember. And that's where that was. So that was the second way to do it. And then because I changed the adventure a little bit, because there was another day that I made into a rest day because Locke wasn't here.
Yeah.
And then I put in that other bit about going to the subway.
Oh, that's the one I had fun on.
Yeah, and then you came back. Well, that's because that was a more of a go there, do that, open the door, that's there, go and do that, that's there. And then the LARP one was basically what was going to happen was that they were going to kidnap Aaron and Erin. And if that had happened, and if you succeeded in that, if they had succeeded in that, then that would have been it. You wouldn't have got anything at all. And that's basically what why you got paid, because you prevented the kidnapper. Apart from that, there was a whole load of information that you could have found out along the way, but apart from that, that was about it. That's all you had to do. So basically, on the so you know, on the Crank game, the idea would have been to stop his hacking,
right,
and to stop it. The one with the sell out figures, the selling them out. You virtually discovered that. You just went around it a different way, but to find out that it was a con, and then Officer Lyman would have been bribed, negotiated with, in order to tell you what was going on, and then you could have actually have got that, or like you did, stop the exit. So the Gunners, the Team 9 was to give you a clue with the Niners that the team to watch would be Team 9. And I think the other thing was, when I was talking about it, where it's in Team 9 Tactics, I think. Oh, I can't find it. When they talked about the people, oh, there it is. If you remember, there was a whole load of Castles and Worms. Team 9 was Castle and Worms, Team 10 was Castle and Worms, and Team 3 was Castle and Worms. So everybody else had a very unique setup, but there was 3. And the reason that was put in is that if the Castle and Worms were followed, or surveillance were done on them, then within the game there was the option to try to trick you. You know, so people would have to roll sensor rolls or perceptions or tracking with spirits, because the chance that you might have lost one, you know, and so forth and so on. So so it was a beast spirit that you disrupted, Studley, and then I think people just went down quick after that. But Billy Bob, you were...
Only Billy Bob can save us now.
I was tanking.
You were.
Doing it well.
With style and panache.
Yeah, and so it was just a matter of the Team 9 were, if you notice, when Billy Bob took on the Troll Merc, that was the match. That was the 2 match. So Studley, your match was the wizard, the shaman, you know, with the spirit.
I kind of did it.
Yeah, and that's why I gave you the option of disruption. I mean, Locke, you know, you went against the rigger on the way out, you know, because that was actually, and he was jumped in then to that drone, so he was rolling with all his dice rolls. Yeah. You know, but interesting enough, and this was actually the case, which I found quite amusing, was that he actually did have shock rounds in it. rather than anything else. And he actually had fly spies, and then 2 Nissan Dobermans, and with him. Yeah, it was actually loaded up with shock rounds rather than anything else.
Who was the 2 people that Aaron was talking to at the beginning of the adventure?
The
by the
one
car?
person, the guy in the.
Well, yeah, interesting, because I think that was an interesting bit, because you didn't follow him or anything like that, didn't you?
No.
No, and basically that was just like a red herring.
All right.
That's all that
You
was.
probably knew that, Longshanks, didn't you? That's why you didn't.
Who was
follow
the other guy? Sorry.
Well, not
I
certain.
thought you
but
said there
on
was
balance,
2
the probability
in the car.
that. No, there was one. He got
There's
into
one.
the car. He was outside, and then he got in, and
It was just a random. I thought it was just a random orc, because she seems to have a thing for orcs. So
But yeah, he was just like a red herring. There was a few red herrings here, there, and everywhere. And the people that went to the door, I told you that, didn't I? That Locke had booked the twins
Penthouse.
into the penthouse,
Yeah.
but their room became on the computer system to become empty.
Available.
yeah,
And that's why somebody was trying to get in,
It's a good job I didn't just go rage
Yeah.
on his ass.
because they
Billy
was
was actually using some sensibility there.
yeah. And the other thing is, they were booked into the penthouse, but they were actually getting charged
Right.
for the penthouse.
Mm.
Not their current rooms, but the actual penthouse, because they have been swapped on the computer system. So
Damn it, Locke.
it wasn't very very.
If I hadn't
happy
been away, I
about
could have
that.
told you to go up there and enjoy yourself.
So yeah, so that was it. So does anybody know what they're going to be spending karma on? You probably don't have enough to do.
I don't have enough.
Tornado. As it's where's my thing? As it stands, I've got 5. So with that 3,
I've been talking, Billy Bob, about your intimidation, because your intimidation is always limited by, technically in the games, it's limited by your social limit, which I
Yeah,
think
I
is
was-
something like 2.
yeah, I was gonna ask to is it? I want to work on my logic and
Yeah, well, the thing
those-
is, what I've been reading some Reddits about it, and there's quite a big discussion about whether or not the intimidation should be limited by your physical limit or your social limit. So your physical limit would be a lot higher because of your general size. But I mean, the thing is, what is your logic at the moment?
logic is 3.
3. So if you wanted to increase it to 4, that would take you 20 karma.
Billy Bob, what's your charisma?
Charisma that needs work as well. That's 1.
Because isn't that what your social limit's done off your?
Well, no, social limit is done on charisma times 2 plus willpower plus essence, and then all divided by 3. So your essence would be low in any case, Billy Bob.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything about that. So it's your charisma that you need to increase, or your willpower. Now, what's your willpower at the moment?
That's 3.
3.
I did that. It was 2, I think.
Yeah.
But I
so
increased. it.
that'd take 20 karma to get it up to 4.
Yeah.
What's your charisma?
1.
1. So to take that to 2, that will be 10 karma, and then if you just on your hang on, let me just come into your character sheet. Let me just have a look at it. See, even if you
if it's getting divided by sort of like 3, it's not going to make any difference.
no, because if I add 1 to your karma there, or 1 to your charisma, actually takes it up to 3. Your social limit up to 3.
Right.
So it must be close to that boundary at the moment. But the other thing is whether or not I need to look into it a bit more whether or not if intimidation goes on physical limit, then you might as well start to plow it into the skill because your physical limit is 10.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it comes down to how you play the intimidation.
See, that's what I would have thought. If you, because I was like, why is he not intimidating? He's a big orc, right?
Yeah.
He's like 6 foot tall.
Yeah. So what happens? See, and this is the issue that when you intimidate, okay, you say, for example, you get general modifiers. Let me see, intimidation. Okay, you are physically imposing. Say, for example, so I always assign you +2 to that because a troll would be +3.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's nowhere to go. You're not outnumbered. Okay, if you're wielding a weapon, then you get +2. And, you know, if it's causing or has caused physical harm, you get another +2. So, but you could be
But I'm
rolling,
limited.
but you can sort of like then roll 6 dice,
Yeah.
but you're still limited to 2.
Yeah.
So it's almost like now I also roll, and therefore it's the net hits. So if you roll, you're going to get 2. That's the maximum you can have. Now, if I get 2 or more successes on my roll, then that's it. It hasn't worked. Because see, the issue is your 2.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy. If I'm rolling like 8 dice, then 2 is like nothing. It's peanuts. You know, because...
So what is it I need to work? Is it charisma or...
Well, yeah, you either need to increase your charisma, that will increase your social limit, but that will take you absolutely ages.
Yeah.
Because, say, for example, you increase it to 2, that's 10. To increase it to 3, it's 15. To increase it to 4, it's 20. So basically, you will be powering all your karma into your lux.
Yeah.
And really and truly, I query whether or not that's your role.
Yeah, I would have thought Billy Bob would be better off doing other tanky things.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want him... I don't want him too smart, and I don't want him too...
Yeah, but I think we can get round it by saying that if you're intimidating, then I need to decide as the GM whether or not I'm going to make it a social limit or a physical limit.
Right.
And then do one or the other. And it will depend what you actually do. Because therefore you can... Pre-edging ups the limit as well, doesn't it?
It gets rid of the limit.
Yeah. So the other thing is you can actually pre-edge. And that would get rid of the limit.
Which is what you did with your edge this last adventure.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
No, it did.
Oh, it did work, yeah.
You had to make a second roll after that, which you didn't have it for.
Yeah.
So I would probably concentrate. Your problem is that your edge is crap.
Yeah,
I would probably concentrate on maybe getting your edge up.
Can you do that?
Yeah. So improving your edge. What is that?
I thought your edge was that was it.
No.
I thought you couldn't
See,
increase
I'll
it.
I'll probably get a whole load more edge after this adventure because it gets awarded for good role playing and stuff as well.
I did really good role playing.
I'm just trying to find. I think it goes on. I think it goes on your attribute table. So what's your edge at the moment?
1.
So to get 2 edge, you would need 10 karma.
Damn. So what am I at? I'm at 5 plus the 3. That's 8.
Yeah, so it's new attribute times 5, isn't it?
I think it's to improve an attribute is new rating times 5. Yeah. So to get a 2 karma, it's 10 points, 10 karma. To raise it to 2 edge from 1 edge will be 10 karma.
which is a really good investment for you.
Yeah.
If you only got one, then
It's like this. If not that you would have been in the situation I was, but if you were ever in that situation where you're facing death and you've only got one karma and you've already used it on a social role, that's it. That's
I think it's nice that you actually used it this time.
Yeah.
I think last time you didn't. I had to use it on my character to save you.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I'll never live it down.
what's your actual overflow then? Hang on, let me just.
Are you in my?
Yeah, I'm just putting zeros in there. So your overflow is 14, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because so I had 9 points of stun after coming round after being revived. You then shot me in the back originally, which did 5 physical damage. You then did another 10, so that was 15 points of physical damage, another overflow of 14. So that would have been me dead with a point to spare.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to burn my head.
I don't know whether or not that is working it right. Because I thought overflow was beyond the 10. I'll check that. I'll put it on my list. Overflow. Let me check that. Cool. Yeah. So well done. So you. So how much edge did you have, Tornado?
So after the recalculation, because I got the thing wrong, I had 5 edge, so I've now burnt one and I've got 4.
4. You got 4 left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then that's it.
Because humans.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any more questions then?
Yes. Can I know for a fact I bought a rating 3 med kit. Can I change the rating on
Your one that you had is probably how many supplies you had left in it. Because
And to be honest with you, I think really and truly, medkits are fine. Doing a medkit on Studley is fine. Using a medkit on anybody else, it's so difficult because your essence are so low.
Right.
What's Locke's essence?
My essence isn't that bad, to be fair. Where are we? Let's have a look. What page are we on? Essence.
new couch sheet.
Whilst he's doing that, Tornado's got lots of stim patches in the back of the van. So if we ever get bored, we can always stick them on Dudley.
Yeah.
Get him
So
stim patches.
so
You
yeah.
did
So
that
I think.
after I wasted 4,500 credits just to bring you round.
Yeah,
This is very-
so I think what I would suggest is that technically most Shadowrunners would carry stim and trauma patches
in the
with
van.
you on your persons. I know, Studley, you have everybody has the thing to become addicted to them. But the positive is that I think stone patches, stim patches actually remove your thing. But I think at the end it comes back double, is it?
It comes back and it's like a temporary. It's like a temporary caffeine boost, really.
Yeah,
That's the way
but
I
say
think.
for example, when the mage goes down, the first thing anybody should do is whack a stim patch on them because that would bring them back again.
And it's the number of hours times the rating, I think it is, isn't it?
Well, I'm not too sure until I look it up.
I think that's what it is.
But the interesting thing is that I think rather than being in the van, I think you need it. People need it on their person, because if you take that last battle, Studley went out really early on, and then that was it.
Yeah, we could have worked him up if we had something with like adrenaline boost or something.
Yeah, if somebody had a stim patch, he would have been up quite rapidly, and even Evan could have been stim patched.
Lessons learnt for another run.
Yeah. And I think the only other thing, and I say this in the nicest possible way, Tornado and Locke, it is so easy to take you down.
I know.
As players, when you're in the meat world, so easy at all, completely.
It's when you lose that initiative. It's like one go, and that's it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like when a weapon does 9p. Unless you've got really high.
But the thing
dodge and
is,
soak.
they both have ways to give them the edge of, for example, Locke could have an agent constantly scanning for weapons.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends
feeding
whether or
them
not.
feeding them the information on where they are, and
Yeah. Well,
if there's
I
any-
think
any-
it's.
I didn't know agents could do that. You mean a constant matrix perception?
Well,
Yeah.
Or the AR?
What I would be saying is it's more the case of. It's a bit like. I always think riggers and deckers and mages, Studley, that are not combat mages, because you're technically a combat mage, try to keep out of combat as much as possible with their meat bodies, but they have their power is not in the meat world.
Yeah, it's in whatever they're doing. So
Yeah. So it's a bit like, the rigger
he
was
appeared in-
rolling 4d6s. So I don't need to blitz my initiative because I tend to be always up there at the top, and I think the worst thing I think a decker and a rigger can get is that if all of a sudden they're in the meat world.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Because Studley has, I think you have increased reflexes, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
So you will naturally go quicker.
Oh, only if I've cast it on myself. Last time I used it on Billy Bob.
Yeah, and Billy Bob has a good initiative. But then it comes down to armor and body and how good you are at shooting, etc., etc., etc.
Which is why, not that I was wearing it, but which is why here I do have slightly better armor that I can wear if I need to be in the meat world.
I'm the same that way.
But I wasn't. It was, put it this way, it was down to the amazing storytelling that was going on. I wasn't actually expecting what happened to have happened until we were in there.
Yes,
And that's why I was wearing my full body armor, Tim Pot and Jack.
And that's lulling you into a false sense of security.
I have 6 essence left. I've only spent one point of essence.
You don't spend a
5S.
You
Sorry,
can't have
is it-
6.
Sorry, is it 5? Sorry,
what have you got? A data jack and some.
I've got a Data Jack and Cyber Eyes. So
Yeah,
9
so-
points for the Cyber Eyes and 1 for the Data Jack.
Yeah.
So minus 0.9 and 0.1 essence.
Yeah. So you got.
So 1 essence I've spent. You would just start with 6 then?
It's out of 6, yeah.
Everybody
sorry.
starts with 6. You can't get any.
Which is where I went.
My essence remaining 0.3875.
That's
Yeah.
because you've got other people's body parts in you, unfortunately.
So your essence remaining is incorrect.
Yeah. There we go. Stop now.
Yeah. So it's actually 5.
So you can heal me.
How much? What's the
You're a
capacity?
neurosurgeon.
What's the capacity of the Cyber Eyes then?
Rating 2, so there's 8. Low light flare. Yeah. So 8 things it can have apparently. Is that right? Well, anyway, it's all broken down there. So rating 2, 0.3 space, which is 8 in brackets. So
Cyber
0.2.
Eyes. 0.3 rating 2. Capacity
got smart
of
link,
8.
it's got light.
But they have a camera and data link as standard built in, which you don't.
Which I put at the bottom. Camera's standard.
So why would you buy 8?
Why
would you buy rating 2?
Because I've got the thermographic vision, the flare compensation,
That's 0.2.
Smart gun links?
smart gun link, low light.
Is it 8 things?
8 things, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just trying to. What are the 8 things that you would want
No,
to put?
I've got
8
1
things.
smart link, low light. There's 5 there. Image light as well. So there's 5 I needed.
It's not 8 things in Wills, it's 8 made up of 8.
One thing made
Essence.
up of it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm just looking down everything that you can put in it. So
Yeah.
flare compensation is 0.1, image link is 0.1, low light is 0.1, retinal duplication. Oh, that's rating per rating, but you wouldn't want that. Smart gun link 0.2, thermographic image in 0.1, vision magnification 0.1. So you even if you put all that in, that hasn't even come to 1 yet.
No. The 8 is per item you can put into it. It's per component you put into it, isn't it? It's not. That's not essence. That's
Yeah,
per
but
item.
even then, there's only 9 things. Flare compensation, image link, low light, an ocular drone if you want it. So if you take that out, put smart gun, thermographic vision, vision enhancement, vision multiplication. There's only 7 things that you could actually put in it.
Really?
So I don't see why you would need 8.
Yeah. I had the money. I spent it. There you go. It's like why would you want a Gucci bag when a Netto's bag's fine?
Vision,
Pay 5p for that.
What van did you get that off? I want to know the driver's name. I want one.
That's really interesting. That why would you buy? Because I was just thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything at rating. So if you think flare compensation, image link, low light, smart gun link, thermographics.
But the capacity is different. For the capacity for smart gun link is 3, so that leaves you with 5.
That's
Oh.
right.
Low light
Sorry,
vision
that's
is-
right. Sorry.
2.
Oh, so it's not the essence loss.
No. That's a
Oh,
0.
I get you.
It's
So
on that. It's the
1,
actual
2,
size of the
3,
item. Going in.
An ocular drone
4,
is
5,
6.
7, 8.
So I could fit one of those in, but I'd look really silly with this drone in my eye.
Oh, got you. So a smart gun. The smart gun
Just take
is
it out,
3.
send it flying around.
Low light is 2, so that's 5. Flare is 1, that's 6. Thermographic is 2.
Yeah.
which
Vision
is-
enhancement is whatever the rating is.
No, and then
I don't have that yet.
image link is standard, is it?
Yeah, image
Yes.
link is standard in camera is standard.
And camera standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it's a retinal modification, in which case I don't
Yeah,
think.
and you've dwarves get thermographic.
I thought they got thermographic.
They
They
also.
do, but remember we had this discussion about because I wanted to replace one eye, not take thermographic, but then I'd take a minus for having
Yeah, you
one
would have done,
cyber eye, one normal eye. So I took both eyes out and added thermographic into the data eyes, into the cyber eyes. So I lost thermographic and then gained it back.
Excellent.
New meaning of eye in the sky if you had an ocular drone.
So
Those were
You can
my
just buy
favourite.
the eye and just you don't have to put it in, just hold it and let it float now.
Well,
So
you
why is-
could have done retinal modification and kept your thermographic
Yeah.
vision as well.
So why does it say cyber eyes 0.9?
Because that's a total of all the essence of each component that's gone into it. So the cyber eyes themselves have a 0.3 essence. Smart Link has 0.2, low light 0.1, and so on and so forth.
Right. So you have to do
Which
the
totals up to a 0.9 for the total of what's in the eye.
Jugs.
Yeah.
So, right, do you know the dermal plating in that? So if I and the bone lacing, if I replace that with like new stuff instead of secondhand, would that increase my essence?
no. Well, your essence has already been lost.
Right.
Essence is like, I mean, once you lose your essence, that's it. You don't get it back.
Okay.
It's like cutting your arm off big to put on a robot arm and then taking that fake robot arm off to put a newer model on. You've still lost your
Right. Okay. No, fair enough.
That's how I understand it anyway. It's a good idea though. Something to save up for big.
Suit of armour where the dermal plating on the outside.
Yeah.
So, just out of it, I was just thinking about that data storm that I did. therefore, even anybody with cyber eyes would have -6 onto everything, wouldn't they?
What's
If you created 6 noise, is that what you did?
Yeah.
Well, we discussed this ages ago when I was playing Phase. If you create 6 noise, then basically nearly everything has gone off. Smart guns have gone.
Yeah, nobody used smart guns.
Yeah, Big would have been able to activate his hand blade because the wireless signal's gone from that to be able to activate it.
so he's just basically EMP'd.
Yeah.
Beat the whole area.
But what I was thinking is that I've put a noise of -6 on. I haven't stopped everything.
But don't normal things have a device rating of 2, and anything
Oh
anything
yeah.
with anything below the noise reduction will stop
I'll
working.
check that. Yeah, good.
Oh,
Everybody would be blind in the whole conference area.
did we just cheat the game?
Yeah, exactly. No, not at all. It's just that I'm interested with the what it actually impacts on. You know, because that's why it was detrimental to Eagle Eye, because it didn't actually come from. That's why the surveillance drone, the fly spy that was monitoring you all that time, that's why it crashed, because he did a
Lost
dice
track.
roll and lost control of it, and then I rolled a piloting roll for the autopilot to get in, which it got 0 successes.
And which is why I couldn't raise the van to get it around the front.
Correct. Yeah.
I couldn't hack into the comlink because, yeah, that's the reason for me.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Cool. Okay, guys. Yeah. So, well done. You can decide what you're going to do with your karma and money. I'll have a think, and whether or not I can make something up for next Tuesday, or whether or not we'll need a break. I'll see what I've got bubbling in the background, and then I'll let you know. And then it'll either be not playing next week and maybe playing the week after, or playing next, or maybe playing next week. I'll see how much time I've got to actually make it up. So, has anybody got any announcements for the stream? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
No, not tonight.
No.
I have nothing.
Excellent.
I have none.
So I will probably be back on Thursday, probably making up a new character or playing ESO, and then I'll be back on Saturday with ESO in the afternoon and Mithras if Mr. Pickles is better on the evening, and then Sunday ESO as well. So if you've enjoyed tonight's stream, then don't forget to hit the follow. I'll try to get both of these adventures up on YouTube. I know I'm behind with them, so you can go and see them. And apart from that, I'd like to say to each and every one of you to remember to be who you are and say what you feel, because the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. Have fun, and I will catch you all later. And until then, consider yourself well and truly waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.